What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Michael Watson here, publisher of Short Fuse Media, founder of Freestyle Comics, one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy, and the most enthusiastic person in comics. Can you guys hear me? All right. All right. So today is the inaugural episode of Chat and Draw, and of course, we've hit a couple snags. Chris will be in here with me. He has a Kickstarter that we're going to be promoting today on our page. And just to break you in there, let me tell you what Chat and Draw is all about. So, basically, we bring a guest onto the show, indie original character creator, and we talk about the character while I draw them on social media, promoting whatever they have going on, whether that be a Kickstarter, new book release, or just themselves. That's what we do, and that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be looking forward to the conversation because I just read Base Force, and I'm looking forward to talking to Chris, asking him some questions, and him giving us feedback and insight on this character. I think he's got like 48 or 40 hours left over on this show, on his Kickstarter, which will allow you guys to get in there and donate to him. So as soon as I can get Chris in here, he's running into some issues on his side. We're really going to get popping started. I'm trying to get one or two things knocked out here. I didn't want to keep you guys waiting too long. If you guys got questions or anything, you go ahead and put those questions right on our comment thread so we can line those up, because you can ask questions as well while we do this. Those will be really fun to ask and go over with Chris while we have him on the phone, or the stream rather. And be sure to follow up on his Kickstarter. To donate and share that Kickstarter if you can't donate. You know what I'm saying? Let's help the guy out. He's already hit his goal, but hitting it a little bit more won't hurt nobody. All right. Just trying to get this last little image here, and then I'll be seeing what we need to do to get Chris brought over. He's messaging me on my phone right now. I'm going to replace that. He's still working on it. Don't want to get too started until we get him in here. I should come up with some stall music I can play while we're waiting in case I have to stall, kind of like how I'm doing now. Probably wondering where the idea for this Chat and Draw came from. Talking with Sean Mack, operations director of Short Fuse Media, and just trying to come up with some new ways or something different to help indie creators. Right now we are, we're taking a hit because of the virus and social distancing and things like that. And we wanted to try to do something completely new and different. Well, not maybe, I don't know. I'm sure somebody else has done this before or whatnot, but something new and different. And we got a pretty alarming response to it, to the point to where we had to reevaluate it, what we're going to do with it moving forward or whatnot. But it seems like the people want Chat and Draw, which is a good thing, because I want to do it for reals. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Oh, looks like he's using the wrong browser. Try Chrome. Oh, that looks like a good tech issue that I can handle no problem. Well, I guess the little thing that I wanted to do is not going to work for a reason it's too big. Looks like Chris just needs to change browsers, and then we'll get them on here. So, I don't want to talk about the book until we get them in here. So I know what to do next time. Get at them earlier. Wanted to make sure that I got us cracking right at 3:15. I saw people were waiting in the queue there. Now, I did read the book, so I will talk a little bit about it. No, I'm trying to wait for Chris, but it was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the issue. RN did a really good job with the artwork. I feel like his style on this issue is more like a Batman the Animated Series type deal. And it works. Chris is bringing up and drawing, or Chris is writing in this book is talking about things I don't normally see talked about that much in mainstream comic books. Come on. Don't you hate it when you test something out and everything works the way it's supposed to work, and then when you get ready to fire it up, nothing works the way it's supposed to work? All right. Waiting for Chris' little head to pop up in this group so we can get it going.
Yes.
That's not Chris. That's my screen I'm going to be drawing on. I'm still checking in with him here. Well, we're going to get started drawing him. And when Chris comes in, Chris comes in. So, we got this character. His name is Base Force. All right. Got a blank slate. Looks like he has like these type of sound powers that are coming from the gauntlet. Very cool helmet that we have designed by this guy. Let's see here. I really, really like what RN did with this character, because I believe RN is the one that designed the character, and like how honestly he doesn't really have a costume. He's got a shirt that he's rocking and some pants, but the real costume is the gauntlets and his helmet. And the helmet is a very cool design. Oh, looks like Chris is still having trouble getting in. All right, he's got a very, very cool design here. And I'm just gonna break the ice here. We're gonna dig into this. Not with the eraser though. I'm gonna use my sketching, my Procreate pencil. You know what? I'm gonna do it in green today because Base Force's main color is green. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go with this. I'm just gonna keep the pencil moving here until I get something. This thing might change a couple different times or whatnot. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. Remember, if you guys got any questions or comments, go ahead and just put those in the comment line and they'll pop up for me to see. Just trying to feel like he obviously the guy has a lot of force behind him. So I kind of want to keep that for sure, like in the feeling of it. But I kind of want to draw him like, I don't know, knocked out, drug out, like one of those slobber knocker brawls. But taking in for granted also how his power work. And I might change this as we go. I don't know. I try to normally work out something. Try to get a pretty good sketch before I give up on something if I don't like it or whatnot. And this might just be a drawing just to get me loose before I like dive into it or whatnot. Okay. Now this is literally the first time that I've drawn this character. I really wanted to come at it with some fresh eyes and like I didn't want to research it at all like I normally do when I do other people's characters. Chris sent me some images. I didn't look at them a whole lot, but I did read the comic yesterday just so I could be able to talk about it today with him as soon as he gets plugged in. I'm gonna try something else. Wasn't really feeling that one as much. And this is my process. I just sketch. I just keep that pencil moving on the paper until I find something that I like, that I'm feeling. And with the iPad, it's super, super easy to get these sketches done because I can just keep going and like not really have to worry about paper consumption or being neat on the paper.
Mom, look. Look at my wreath. Did you make this? Yeah.
I'm actually trying to check to make sure on my page I'm not missing any comments from anybody.
Yeah, the cross and the stuff inside. You want to check inside?
Thank you for the shares that we're getting from people. Oh man, we got a lot of comments that I'm missing.
It's okay, you don't have to. It's okay, super. Boo!
Tyrell's watching. We're looking forward to it. dug the perspective on that first sketch. I don't know if I'm all the way in love with that first sketch, Tyrell.
I found the place already. Right in the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm there with that first sketch. I want to try out some stuff before I really settle in here. Also trying to keep aware of Chris so he can drop in. What I've noticed from reading the book, this isn't like apparently he was a hero in his younger day and quit for reasons. I don't want to give too many spoilers, and then brought it back out for the need of it. And the cool thing that I like about the book also is that I think it works really well, but man, it looks like it has so much potential to be an animated series, like a new like jump on point for like a Static Shock type book. So we have Tyrell like in this one, digging that perspective and whatnot. Yeah, most artists seem to do that, Tyrell. I think it is. I think that gives life to it for people. Um, I know it's kind of like the sketch. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's popped up. Let's bring that kid in here. Hey, everybody, it's Chris. Hey, Chris, can't hear you. All right, well, we got him there. Figure out that. Yep, his mic is not muted. Chris is in the building, and now we're trying to get that sound. All right, so I'm gonna work on another one. Chris, can you hear me? Oh, I think we got him. I hear you, Chris.
Oh, hey man, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Sorry about all that.
Oh, no problem, man. It's the first show. There's bound to be some glitches in the first show. I've taken some notes on what to do so we so we can avoid it next episode. So everybody,
Yeah, I
this
thought
is Chris,
on my phone.
creator writer of Base Force. I'm pronouncing that name correctly, right, Chris?
Yeah, Base Force.
All right, all right. So, Chris, I don't know if you saw it or not. I got the first sketch up here. I'm just trying to fill some things out.
Oh, nice.
Um, Trying to get comfortable with the character. There's a second sketch. I'm gonna do a couple more. So, Chris, I read the book and I took some notes, man.
Oh, you did now.
Oh yeah. Didn't want to look like a smuck up here interviewing you.
Yeah. One sec. Let
Let's
me
see here.
grab.
All right. So in reading the book, as we are now that the show can really begin the true chat and draw aspect of it. Um, what I really like is the initial conversation between um, Base and his pastor. Um, I love that he just came out and just told him that he was base force. That like there was no hesitation about it. The pastor asked him what was going on, what was wrong with him. He felt very concerned for some things that were going on, and he said, "Well, I'm trying to be base force again. Like this is what I'm doing. This is what's been on my mind." What was what was the decision process in like writing that conversation?
Funny you brought that up. That was actually Sean Calval. Wait, how you pronounce his name or last name? Um, the editor of
Colvin,
huh?
go ahead.
Yeah, the editor of Face Force, Lashawn Calvin. She actually
Hmm.
suggested that ending. It was gonna be way different, but once she did, I started thinking that it was a good opportunity for, you know, Greg and his pastor to like show the audience how connected they are.
Hmm.
So that's where I was going with that, and kind of like a mentor kind of apprentice deal too. So
So okay, that's cool. So
one more thing
so
about
they've
that,
obviously known each other for a long time.
yeah, and one more thing about that too is like the original page of that was different because the one you read is the updated one. So I forget what it said, but as I started watching more writing videos, I'm like, I really need the audience to see who Base Force really is when he doesn't have that mask. So that's why I rewrote that to what you read now.
Okay.
It was a less deep page. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, nothing wrong with that at all. So then, LaShawn's in the building. Chris, can you turn your volume up? Your volume's a little low. LaShawn's telling us, look at your editor working full time.
Yeah, let me try. See.
There we go. Thank you, LaShawn. Bobby said your mic was too low too.
Can you hear me?
Tyrell was on it. Andy's in the building.
Is it better now?
A little bit more.
A little bit more?
Yeah, yeah. What's up? Okay, see you later.
Yeah. Hello?
Is it good now?
It's still low, but I can hear you.
Okay, let me try it again.
That worked, Chris. Whatever you just did, that was super loud. Do you have a mic on there that you can pull down?
Let me see.
Because when you move it, it gets loud. So I think maybe your mic is blocked. All right.
Can you hear me
So
better now?
it's still about the same.
Okay.
We'll persevere through. Um, so then we get to meet, I guess, who the villain is, and I love that he has a mug that says "superhero tears." Like that was a great little plug-in if you're like really paying attention and looking at the art and stuff.
Yeah, that was Robert Nick's idea. He's the artist of the series.
Okay. And Robert is the one that created, or well, not created, but designed the character for you, correct?
He helped design, so it was a slightly different design, and he helped me really solidify it.
Okay. So, how many of the character designs did you actually touch your hand on versus Robert? Like, was this a 50-50 thing? Did you start the designs and you passed them on to Robert? Or did you guys talk about it first and you broke apart? Like, how did that design process work for
Pretty much, I design like everything, and then uh, Robert Nix kind of makes all these tweaks and makes it much better. So
you?
probably like 80 mine, 20% his most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us about the cast of characters that you have in the book.
Oh, that's a fun one. We got Base Force, the main character. He's the son of a superhero, and now he's discovering what it means to be a superhero as well. And then you got Nez, Luke Nez. He's the son of a villain, the son of the original Base Force's villain, and now he wants a piece of Base Force. Then we got Rivka and Yasmin. They're like two fun water and fire superheroes,
Hmm.
and they come around, in the last of it, issue 4, I believe, and then issue 1. Then
Okay.
we have one of my favorites, Rorschach. He's Rivka's boyfriend, and soon to be Base Force's best friend in the series. So
All right. All right.
it'll be a pretty cool like heroes for hire type of deal going with them soon. And
All
then
right.
there's like a bunch of characters in there. I like creating characters, so yeah.
Awesome. 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 So what's the elevator pitch for the book?
The elevator pitch, like I created so many elevator pitches leading up to Base Force that if you ask me right now, it's pretty like jumbled up. But it's basically Greg is the son of Base Force, a prominent superhero back in the day. He's trying to fill his father's shoes, and he feels that the world really needs more superheroes. And at the same time, Luke Nez, who's the son of a prominent villain of the original Base Force, he's at this point he's like wants to finish what his father started once Base Force enters the scene basically, or re-enters the scene rather.
Okay.
It's basically legacy versus legacy, while also like having a very fun, happy vibe to it.
So how serious do you plan on the book to get? Like, is there going to be a lot of serious issues in the book that you're going to face, or are you going to keep it lighthearted?
I plan to have some serious stuff here and there as the series goes on, but it's most likely going to be lighthearted throughout, with some serious issues sprinkled in here and there. Because with issue 3, it actually gets really serious, you know, but not like too serious to the point where like I think the editor, our editor LaShawn Calhoun, she really liked it because she felt it actually touched on a deep issue.
Hmm.
Oh, and she says the ending of the graphic novel is pretty serious. Yeah, it was pretty serious. So there's some serious moments in there, but most likely it's gonna be like most of the time it's gonna be lighthearted. I was really going for the Batman animated series kind of vibe. How there's fun, but there's also some seriousness to it, some pretty deep storylines. Yes, LaShawn.
That's what I said when I read it. I know RN does a couple different styles of art, and it looks like we went for more of a classic Batman animated series style on this one, which I dig. I think it works. It transitions well for it. Um, Makes it kind of look like it can definitely work in a comic book format and a cartoon format as well. If you could try again with your volume, Chris, people were still saying it's too low to hear you.
Okay,
I think like you're blocking up your mic or something.
okay. Can you hear me better now? I've readjusted my headphones.
Like it's like the moment that you do this with your headphones, I can hear you super clear.
Okay. Yeah, I have a habit of putting one ear
You
on
be that verb.
Mm.
and half the earphone in.
No.
All right. So I don't know if you can see what I got going on here. I'm actually starting to really dig. Um, it's kind of up close and personal one that I got going on here.
Oh, me too. It looks really cool, man.
All right, so this is what I got so far. Let's get some crowd participation here. LaShawn saying the ending of the graphic novel is pretty serious, she must say. All right, so this is the first sketch we got.
Well, that looks really cool, man.
Playing around with them. This is the second one,
Oh, that's dope too.
and this is the third one.
Wow, that's cool. All three of them are really cool. Like, thanks, man, for doing this.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Anybody out there in Streamland got any opinions or comments on it? Which ones are you? Which one are you guys feeling from to go to the next level on this? A, B, or C? LaShawn is saying she loves the first and third sketch.
I agree.
The camera angle at the first is bomb.com. All right, so I don't know. I might have to go with that one because that's what your editors picked, man.
Yeah, go with that one.
All right, let's go with that one. Let's work on this one. So we're gonna go in on this one and get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Okay. So I've just started this venture of drawing on. Daniel says B or C. CL Bedell says C. Tyrell says C. Tyrell likes the first one. I got 3 votes for C.
Yeah, you really
Let's.
screwed on that one.
Oh, so I guess everybody's choosing C. All right, the one that the editor picked. So obviously LaShawn is good at her job. She picked the one before everyone even said it.
Yeah, she's just so good at her job. You know, what she looks at everything from the pages to the designs to the art, and I really think you know this is gonna be so much better because of her.
So talk about the experience of working with a full blown team, Chris. Like, so obviously you're the writer, you're the creator of the book, and you went out, got yourself an artist, and I believe RN is doing the drawing, the coloring, all of it. And then you got a letterer, you got LaShawn helping with edits. Like, what's that whole experience like from your perspective?
It's pretty great because we used to, with Clarity Girl, I did the writing and the art, and Chuck Pinu did the editing. So it's pretty cool that you know. Oh, and Nikki Powers does the lettering for Base Force.
Uh huh.
So it's pretty like great. We work with them because I asked them before because I trust LaShawn and Robert Nix and Nikki Powers that they're gonna do a good job because that's their expertise. So it puts a lot less pressure on me than it would doing Clarity Girl.
Okay. So what's the best part for you with working with the team?
Just like the interesting stuff that they bring to the table that I wouldn't think of. So sometimes there'll be changes that Robert Nix makes to the script that I didn't think he would do, and there's things that LaShawn mentions or adds to that I wouldn't have thought of, and it makes it so much better.
Hmm.
So what everyone brings to the team is just really good.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, what is true? Because you wouldn't let me get the sword on my phone and I didn't. But I had it first.
Thanks. Well, it's a fun character to draw. Been looking forward to it. Doing this whole.
You're killing.
Oh, Tyrell. Tyler, you're giving me props. I am not drawing it off of memory. I've got a reference on. I got two screens going, so I got a reference shot of them that I'm drawing off of. I want to make sure I get the character right. Hey, Chris, try to talk with the headset off and like have it down by your mouth, because like try to talk with this off. Let's see if that helps.
Yeah. Does this help?
Yes, it does. Keep talking.
Okay, but now I can't hear you. So let me try something.
Okay.
Cause these headphones are the mic.
But you can leave it.
See, the volume comes in every time you move.
I had one where it was
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
pay out for 20 Bitcoins.
Can you hear me? Yeah, you should be able to just hear me from the computer mic in there, Chris. But we can hear you now. You're super loud. It's really good now. So, what made you decide, Chris, to go with this impartial costume on him with the jersey and the gauntlets and the mask? What made you come to that decision? Chris, I don't think he can hear me now. We got the volume from him, and now he can't hear me.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, guys, give me like 1 sec.
Hmm.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, is this good? Is
That
this
sounds better.
okay? Oh yeah, so I figured it out.
All right, cool.
It's looking really
So,
cool, man.
thank you, thank you. So, Chris, you got a Kickstarter going on, a very successful one right now. You're working on some stretch goals um, for everybody.
Oh, what'd you say? Sorry, I missed that.
No, you're fine. How has this Kickstarter experience been for you versus your other ones?
I have not done a Kickstarter, so
Oh, this is your first Kickstarter.
yeah, so it's much better than I anticipated. So I'm really pleased with this one.
Oh, well, man, you must be doing a good job, because I swore you did another Kickstarter before.
Nope, I haven't done one.
All right, all right. So, what do you think was one of the key parts, or what key parts helped this Kickstarter to be more to be successful as it is?
Um, since this is like my first one, I honestly don't know. I tried to do everything like tutorials are telling me to do, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I didn't plan ahead enough as I would have liked to. So maybe the fact that it was my first one and people, I guess, were waiting, and people were really excited about this Space Force. Maybe that was what helped it. I'm not really sure. I'm just really thankful it reached its goal. even onto some stretch goals.
Huh? So what's something important or something that you like to highlight about each one of the characters that you have in your cast?
With Base Force, I guess I want to highlight that, you know, for him being a superhero isn't just about like beating up people and and just action. It's also about helping the the villains he's trying to take down. And
Helping the villains?
yeah, oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, you just caught me off guard. When does a hero help a villain? That's a
No, I'm
different
saying
take.
that. No, I'm saying that Sean Mack is can't hear me.
Ah,
Let me see. Is this better?
I think Tyrell said that you're still low. The volume's louder now than it was, but it is still kind of low.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Let me go to the mic camera mixer. Hmm. Still trying to figure this out. Wait, is it good or is it still bad?
Activated.
Still low.
Uh,
Like I hear you're moving. Like when you're moving it around, it's super loud.
okay. Hmm.
Oh, this is pretty purple.
Let me see. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Is this better?
That's loud. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
There we go, Chris. That works. Whatever you did right there.
Yeah, I'm talking to the webcam now.
Yeah, let's stick with that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So,
so
what was the question again?
well,
I
you were
forget.
saying how like we were talking about each one of your characters. What's something special, or important that you wanted to say about the characters? Um, and you were talking about how
Oh,
your hero actually wants to help the supervillains.
yeah. So, when he can, he wants to help the super villains and the villains and everyone. So to him, being a superhero is more than just fighting and whatnot. And throughout the series, we'll see him be more comfortable as a superhero and kind of get not cocky, but more confidence as a superhero too. So that's I guess that's one thing I like to highlight about Base Force.
Hmm.
And also, when I created him, I started out creating him as like a discount Batman, but the more I started developing him, the more he got like more original,
Okay.
at least to me.
Hold on, let me do your hair.
And let's see, what other Rivka and Yasmin, I think are fun because they're like best friends and they have like opposite powers. One being water abilities, one being fire abilities.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be pretty fun seeing those two in the series. That's what I'll highlight about them. And let's see, Luke Nez. I think Luke Nez is the artist's favorite character. I think he said once, but I kind of created him as a modern day Lex Luthor. He gets to be like a jerk and stuff like that. So that's one thing I can highlight about Luke Nez. Um, Bro Shock, one of my favorites. He's just like a dude bro who's who's not like mean or anything. He's just, I guess, wholesome, you can say.
Okay.
And who else? And then I got Balaam, a really like biker kind of half alien super villain, and his sidekick and wife, girlfriend, I think, Tack Freddy, and she's like a Frost type. Sorry, I'm blanking.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, she's kind of like a Mr. Freeze type character.
I liked her. Out of the villains, like you got some pretty cool villains, but out of the villains that you had that were designed and put in that book, I liked her look a lot. And I know we've seen that kind of. Now ask him the first question over again because we heard none of that. I know we've seen like the character with the ice or the ice gun before, but I really like the look of your character. Even though like that power's been done, I feel like your take on that character was a really fresh and revitalizing look for that character, and it was actually one of my favorite looking characters in that design.
Thanks. She's gonna definitely be in volume 2. I've already been planning the series out and everything, so she's coming back.
Okay. And Tyrell he's excited now. We got perfect sound. CL says we got perfect sound. Tyrell said, "What were your inspirations for this?"
What were my inspirations? Like for me, all my inspirations were like the cartoons I grew up with. So Static Shock, Batman the animated series, and things like that. So it's kind of just like all that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, my kids keep calling my name even though they see the video. What's up? Oh, okay.
But yeah, those are some of my inspirations, and just everyday life and fashion were some of my inspirations as well, and some people I know too.
Okay.
Those are my inspirations.
All right. So if you were trying to get more people, obviously you are, to donate to your Kickstarter, why should people donate to the Base Force Chris Thomasa Kickstarter?
Well, first of all, I prefer the term back more than donate, but because I think whoever backs this is going to get a really good story, and it's a complete story, so it's not just an issue or anything. It's a graphic novel, and I think it has like things for everyone in this. If you like diversity, it has diversity. If you like action, it's going to have a whole bunch of action. And if you like just funny and wholesome moments, it's going to have that too. So I think all around it's a feel-good book that a lot of people are going to enjoy. And once you read it, it's not like you need the second volume to go on, but, you can stop at volume 1, even though I wouldn't like you to. But it's going to be a complete story. And really fun.
All right, and we got another question here. What's your best elevator pitch for Base Force? Right now, they're putting you on the spot.
Putting me on the spot. The son of the original Base Force steps into the shoes of his father because he feels he needs, there needs to be more heroes. Meanwhile, when he steps into the spotlight, the son of a prominent villain back in the day, he decides he wants to finish his father's work in Base Force. So it's legacy versus legacy.
Okay. Now I do like that concept a lot. Like I like where you're coming from with that legacy versus legacy. And you see that every once and again, but I don't think and I could be wrong. Somebody could post in the comments like, Mike, you're dead wrong. It's here. But I can't recall off the top of my head where I see a lot of that going on. So I think it's cool. And Again, I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like it's an overdone trope or whatnot. And I didn't realize, so you gave me some clarification. I didn't realize that the earlier base force was his dad. I didn't catch on to that. But I know you told me the version that you sent me wasn't like the full book. You were just giving me a nice little preview of it or whatnot.
Yeah.
So what you have religion in this book, and you talk about it, you discuss it, and the way that it's talked about in the book is just as it's a normal thing. You don't make a big deal about it. I see that you've talked about diversity in the book. You have diversity in the book, but again, it's not a big deal. Like, you have it in here just like this is everyday life, people. Let's keep it moving. These are things that people are into. These are things that people discuss. These are lives that people are living. How did you come about being effective in putting that in there?
I wasn't really trying to make it so it's like, oh yeah, it's no big deal, because I know for some people it is, but I just wrote it how I just wrote this volume how I'd write anything and how I see everyday life, and there's more than just one kind of people in everyday life. So I just tried to put as much real life into it. At the same time, it was important for Base Force to be Christian, but I didn't want that to dominate the whole book. I wanted to be focused on the characters and the story.
Awesome. And right, so I don't want to make it seem like, oh yeah, it's a big deal that we put those things in there. What I like about it is that it's the normalcy of it, that it's normal, that it's included, and it's not treated like it's a big deal. Like, oh my goodness, we got diversity. Oh my goodness, he's talking about the Bible. Oh, he's got the church in here. It's just there because that's how it is in our lives. Here we go. Tyrell says the everyday fashion is cool. And does the father and son bump heads? So is his father still around? Do they bump heads?
No. And issue 1 is revealed that Luke Nez's father killed Base Force and Triple Fury, his parents. So he's he's had to heal from that too. But in the book, there will be times when you see Greg with his father. It's like a flashback and whatnot. And there'll be flashbacks of volume 2. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, from our artists out there, this is why I love the iPad. I was able to kick out 3 sketches during this conversation, kind of like get a feel for the character and what I wanted for the character, until I'm comfortable with it. And I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with it now. And after selecting what the actual sketch is going to be, now I can just really focus in on this thing and manipulate it the way that I need it to be manipulated. One of my faults as an artist that the iPad helps me out with so much is that sometimes when I'm drawing these things, I draw things too big. But with the iPad, I can shrink them back down. So right now where am I at? I'm merging down my layers of sketches that I have here because I love working in layers. And now I'm going to shrink this down just a tad bit, turn it a little bit here, because I want to get both those damn hands in this piece.
It's looking really good, man.
Thank you. And I want this one cocked back. I want this one like he's just about to get ready. He's all like, well, who's here that's about to get this punch? All right. So we got Tyrell. Sean Max in the building, operations director for Short Fuse. Tyrell says, I think it's interesting in this format. Perhaps the father did superheroing one way and may not approve of his son's methods. So do you think you'll have anything like that where he's questioning what he's doing as a superhero, thinking back to like how his dad may have handled a similar situation?
Yeah, and I hope I'm not giving away too much though. But there is times when even regular people, ask themselves, does he live up to the original? So there's definitely got to be those elements in there where, he has to deal with stepping into his father's shoes.
Sean Max says, spoiler alert. So actually, and I don't want to reveal too much in the book, but what I read, you do touch on that. And I like how you touched on that. again, I think there's a little bit of subtlety in your writing that you weave in there that adds like regular tones to what we experience in real world. And I think you do that pretty well.
Thanks,
So
man.
you do touch on that.
Thank you.
LaShawn saying, Chris, don't give away big plots, honey.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
You got LaShawn and Sean Mack on top of you right now.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this thing, I'm having a little bit of fun with this, and this is why I wanted to do these, man. Like I said, like talking with Sean Mack, we really wanted to figure out something that we can do that was a bit different, to try to be involved in the indie community or whatnot, and still like give back. So like the whole, like we don't care who publishes the book, we don't care what brand it's under or whatnot. We want to get your characters out there. We want to talk about your characters. We want the community or the world to see you as a creator, and have this sit down discussion. So
Yeah, thank you guys for doing this. This has been really cool so far.
awesome. And Chris, put in the comments your Kickstarter link so people can go there, because we could have been getting you some pledges by now.
Oh yeah, let's see how you do that. Just a minute.
Yeah, just get it up there when you do.
Okay.
Tyrell says there are some things that creators hold off the story of fair that it is too much given away. I think the generation disconnect is a good hook. I do think that's a good hook, and you got potential right in there.
Thank you, man.
LaShawn is saying this is looking really good. Thank you, LaShawn. I appreciate that. LaShawn is a go-getter when it comes down to locating artists for books. Her books look
Oh, she is.
really, really good. So I appreciate that praise from LaShawn. And someone asked earlier, I forgot to touch on this. They asked, Chris, you're the creator of Clarity Girl. And I was like, yes, he is. He did create Clarity Girl.
Yeah, I did that.
I did that. Another one.
Just a second, I'm trying to figure out how to post a link to this thing.
Yeah,
I can see like some of the live comments, but I can't see all of them.
Okay, you should be able to just drop that in the comments.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It won't let me comment either.
Here, let me send it to me in the private message that you were talking to me on, and then I'll copy and put it in here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey man, that's what it's about. It's about promoting. It's about getting you out there. You got a Kickstarter. Let's get people over to that Kickstarter.
Yeah.
All right. So how did, unless that's a spoiler, unless you're saving it, how did these gauntlets come about? Like what actually, let's stop back. Let's talk about the powers. What exactly are the powers? I don't want to just assume what they are. Let's tell people what these powers are.
Yeah, so with his technology, he can like push people really far using bass frequencies. So it's kind of like vibe in a way. So those gauntlets, they help do those sonic waves and everything. Robert Nix is really good at drawing that. And with his helmet, it's like a heads-up display. He gets calls from it. He can see things with it, and it really helps protect his head too.
Okay.
And later in the book, you're gonna everyone will be able to find out where these came from and how deep of a meaning his gear has to the whole project.
Okay. So let's talk about the supporting characters. It's like you were starting to develop a love story, which I think is, a lot of books do that. And you are, looks like you're hitting it from an old school Lois Lane, Clark Kent perspective, if I get all my characters' name right. Because I'm terrible with names if anybody watches any of my shows.
Yeah, like when I was creating some of the characters, when I got to Brooklyn, like the love interest, I was thinking, I want her to be like Mary Jane in a way, or Lois Lane. I want her to be seen as a really good love interest, but also have a lot of character to her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, she was kind of fearless in that book.
Yeah, she is brave, somewhat nerdy. Yeah, I like the glasses too.
Ramel Hill's in the building. He just said, "What's up?"
Hey, Ramel.
And okay, looks like there it goes.
It looks really good, man.
Thank you. So my computer's moving a little slow. If anybody out there is watching, can you do us a favor? My secondary screen is moving slow. If you can copy and paste Chris's Kickstarter in the comments, it'd be much appreciated. Let's get people over to that Kickstarter and backing it, as Chris has said, as much as we can. So going into this, I think so. I can't say how much I really do enjoy drawing like this on
Thanks,
this
man.
iPad. Now I did all that, and I guess most people would probably start jumping into the inks now, but I'm not that great of an inker, so I've got to
Same
build up
here.
my pencils a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'll try it. I'll see what I can do. Gary Mitchell, and we've had John Couts and Gary Mitchell Inc. Hotshot, and they've done some fantastic work on there.
I really love Hot Shot.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I kind of. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're going to dive into it because he's got these metal gauntlets. I want to make sure I get these things cracking. All right, Ramel's saying, I appreciate Chris letting me have a chance to work with that Base Force with my character soon. Tyrell's got our Kickstarter plugged in there for you. Everybody click on that link, donate to that Kickstarter, share it. If you can't donate to it, we understand times are hard, but at least try to share that Kickstarter. Get it out to your network, to your circles. Let's let other people see this character. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that can resonate with this character and what's going on in this book. I think we got some good stuff coming up here.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, so we're gonna dive into this inking realm. And let's see. Actually, I'm gonna start with this hand because I really was having a lot of fun with this hand. Looks like you got it in little brackets here. I'll try to put my own little spin on that.
It's looking really good, man.
Appreciate that, sir. I'm just trying to bring your character to life.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
Well, at least in my version, because RN is doing a heck of a job over there.
Yeah, and like that's what I love about comics is like there's so many different interpretations of a character, and one isn't better than the other, and like things are different. I love that. Every artist kind of brings their own flair to a character. No, I think that's what I love about comics.
Yeah, it's something I noticed about comics when I first got into them, is that when a different artist was drawing something, or how characters look different by different artists or whatnot, I just always thought that was just a different person telling a story. You know how like when people tell stories and the story changes just a little bit because it's a whole different person telling that story, and has a little bit of may have like a Western flair or may have more of a fantasy flair or whatnot. And that's how I interpreted artists' versions of like Storm, like how Marcus Williams may draw Storm versus how Adam Kubert draws Storm or whatnot. Like that's how that person in that moment saw whatever happened.
Yeah. Like, for instance, the Spider-Man series right now, I love the way Ryan Otley draws Peter Parker. And I also love the way Joey Vasquez draws Peter Parker. And, both of them are different, but they still look really good.
Yeah. I love Ryan Otley. I try. He is a constant, invigorating inspiration in comics. His run on Invincible is fantastic.
Oh, so good.
I carry that book around with me wherever I go. I carry excellence around with me wherever I go, just like
Oh,
before I start drawing.
excellence is amazing.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the Kickstarter rewards that you have going on your Kickstarter, Chris.
Oh, like for the basic stuff, you can get like the first 30 pages of Base Force, which, you know, it's really a good 30 pages, I must say. Then you can get a bundle of digital comics. Well, let's see. Yeah, a bundle of digital comics, one including Short Fuse's Stealth, courtesy of Short Fuse, so thank you guys. And
Not a problem.
yeah, and for the third reward, we got you know, a physical copy of the book. You know, a physical copy is always good. Then
Always
let's
good.
see. Yeah, and then I think the last one is you can be drawn into the book, and RN is really good at doing that. So you can draw, you know, you can have yourself or your character or anyone really that, you know, we legally can draw into the book. And for the stretch goals, we have stickers by drawn by David Jackson. We have a theme song, you know, rapped by what's his name? I'm blanking at the moment. But if you go to the Base Force Facebook page, you'll have it there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a print drawn by me, and then another print drawn by Seth Demuths. He's a really good one.
Dude, he's sick.
He draws for. Yeah, you know, if anyone's familiar with Floppy Cop, it's really good, and he draws that. And then the last stretch goal we hit is 100 backers. So everyone will get a free digital source book that has like the character bios, the design, some of the designs that weren't in the book, and then like behind the scenes kind of look at the pages and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds pretty beastly.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So where are you at right now on the Kickstarter?
On the Kickstarter, I forget the exact numbers, but we're at least like 101 or 102 backers. So I'm pretty happy with that. I want as many people reading it as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you tell us how the idea of Base Force came about?
Yeah, so I thought of Base Force for a while, and you know, I did like a very rough design and issue of Clarity Girl that never got released, and it didn't look as good as what Robert Nix draws, but it was still basically him. And then once I decided to quit or take a break from Clarity Girl, then I wanted to do him, and I wanted him to be like a Black Batman. And me and LaShawn, you know, sent her a script where it was basically that, like a futuristic Batman almost. But then, you know, I realized that I wasn't really feeling it at the moment, so I scrapped that and did, you know, what you see now. Yeah, and I really wanted a Christian superhero too, because sometimes they can be a little bit corny. So that was important for me to you know, make him a Christian and everything, but also not have it like be so in the forefront too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also like his design now. What I was going for that is I was actually going to use his design as like a redesign of the Miles Morales Spider-Man, but then I decided to use it for my own character.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was elements that I used that were going to be redesigns of, you know, something, but I decided to use it for myself.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
LaShawn, thank you again. She's saying that looks good.
It looks perfect.
Yeah, and in case anyone that's tuning in didn't realize this, what's up, Keeman? How you doing? This is going to Chris after I get finished with it. So this is
Oh, really?
yeah, this is his piece. Do whatever he wants with it. That is what we're doing.
Thanks, man. I can't wait to get it. Looks really good.
Oh no.
You're a much better inker than me, even though you say you don't do good inks.
Man, don't let that get around, man. You let my editor hear that, man. Danny Cooper be all up my rear end about editing the entire book of Hot or inking the whole book of Hot Shot. I'm not.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you. Might even be we're on the spot. This is the first episode, and I'm trying to show out a little bit.
Yeah, it's looking good. This first episode is pretty good in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch more. We filled up really quick yesterday.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we filled up real quick yesterday. We were like, I was talking to Sean, I was like, all right, yeah, we have to figure this out because we want to keep it going, but we want to make sure that it works for everything that we need it to work for at the same time.
Yeah, you guys doing a really good job.
Okay, there we go with that.
I like how powerful he looks in this one too.
Well, I kind of want it. Thank you. I get the sense that it's his freak. It's in his name, Base Force. So I kind of wanted to have it like he's in the midst of a fight, and maybe he just got knocked down, and he's back up now, and he's like, all right, time to turn up the volume, and like he's freaking rippling through the air with his power and stuff right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Keeman, we got a guest. This is Chris. We're drawing his character, Base Force. He's got a Kickstarter going on. If you go up in the notes a little bit, you'll see it up there. You can click on it and check it out. But this is a new segment. And you would know that, but my banner was too big and it would not shrink down for it. But this is a segment we're starting now through Short Fuse Media Group called Base Force, called Chat and Draw, where I bring on guest creators, draw their character, and we chat about what they have going on with their character. Now, I'm normally not a fan of regular clothes in the uniform, but I dig this, and I was a little worried about how I was going to pull it off. But yeah, I like this uniform. So is this like a jersey?
Yeah, I thought a jersey would look nice as a superhero outfit, basically.
Yeah. So that's a nice little twist that we put. I don't know if it's a twist, but an accent, because sport players wear the same jersey every day that they go out there and play. So why not put that same element to a superhero or a supervillain? So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I wanted to give a sense of like when he's a superhero, it's game time,
Nice. All right, so you have to keep that as a hashtag, Chris. Like whenever you're doing like the conclusion to one of your story arcs or the big fights happening, you got to do hashtag game time.
Yeah, I'm keeping that one.
Maybe if you don't mind, maybe if you are, because you do the news reports in the book, so maybe that's something that develops as the news and city are looking at him as a superhero, and they're like, oh, Bass Force came in today, guys, and you knew what? It's game time. He wrapped that crime up real quick. It comes like
I love that.
A community hashtag for him.
Yeah. I love that. I also, like, when I design characters, I try to think about like what the normal person kind of have, and as a costume or as an outfit, And I guess in a way, sort of make it easy for cosplayers if they want to cosplay, but also.
That's really cool.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that's really
Thank
cool because actually a lot of mainstream studios work and design their characters in that same vein. They design characters that can be cosplayed for the purpose of them being cosplayed.
Yeah.
I think, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when I design characters, I try to do my research on, would this character be able to wear this or wear that, and that's also where I get my inspiration from when I'm designing the character.
Okay. Now that I think is really cool. One of the most what is it? League of Legends, but I think
Oh yeah,
Overwatch is one of the. It's the one that I can remember. Overwatch is the first big thing I remember where nobody cared about the game, but the characters were simply amazing. From the way they were designed to the little shorts they had about the characters, and the more costumes they put into it. So it was what's that pay to play aspect where not pay to play, but you would pay for the different skins to get this really slick design character of a character you already played as.
Yeah, is Overwatch the one with Tracer and Diva and all them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I know gets lots of attention too.
Yeah, I love what's so funny is I love Overwatch, but I don't play the game. I don't own the game. I don't play it because I suck at first-person shooter games. But I love every single character of Overwatch, and I've just never seen anything like that until Overwatch.
Yeah, I think one thing I always loved about video games, I feel they have over movies and cartoons and whatnot, is like their costumes are always like 10 times better than what you can imagine. Like even with the Spider-Man game, all the costumes and everything looks so good, even when it's in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the Insomniac's Spider-Man. I definitely love what they did with Black Cat. So I always think game suits are so cool. Even the Arkham Knight video games.
Oh my goodness, I love the Arkham Knight video games. I had a ton of fun with that. I had a ton of fun with the Spider-Man 4, PlayStation 4, PS4 one.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
But yeah, I kind of noticed that right around the time of when the DLC and stuff dropped for Catwoman or Black Cat, that there were already cosplayers doing that costume. That already had the costume. Like Sony actually endorsed a couple cosplayers and put them out there with the Black Cat costume and stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah, to me, I like that. I like that version of Black Cat better than I like regular Black Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, her and I could be wrong, but it looks like her costume currently now is influenced by the video game a little bit.
Yeah.
From what I remember, but they're doing a lot of stuff where cosplay has become a very marketable dollar type of thing.
Yeah, it has been.
Justin just joined us. How you doing, Justin?
Yeah, so that's one of my dreams is, not really like a huge goal, but it would be nice to see my characters redesigned in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, that is a great point. Let's talk about that for a second. So we're comic book creators. We make comic books, and actually I'm probably going to make this one of my regular questions that I ask on the show. The one thing that I really want more than anything to happen with my comic books, outside of worldwide distribution, we get the books in stores everywhere. People are buying the books on a regular basis, and I have a nice little fan community. I'm great. That's great. I'm happy. But if there's one caveat that I have to have, that I would love to have, it is a freaking full put together toy line of my figures. All my figures, all the characters at Freestyle Comics, Short Fuse Media, all of them to scale. Like I want a small, skinny hotshot figure with a huge Void figure and a Titan figure with Vigilance and Marquee, the Heroes International. I want all those as action figures, kind of like my Street Fighter buddies right here. If anybody remembers that classic toy line. Um, but then outside of just the figures, I want play sets that can be built and put together with like shrapnel parts. So like if you were drawing somebody punching or drawing somebody punching, if you had a figure punch another figure, you could have them getting punch into a wall, but these clear little sticks would be holding up the debris and stuff. So like I want like packs with like damageable cars and pedestrians and scared victims that you can buy for like $25, like a pack of 3 or 4, and you get these collapsible walls and building suites so you can make your own full-fledged playset. Like that is my one thing I want with my comic books. So all that to say, what's your one caveat that you want with your comic books?
Man, that's a hard one. As tempting as like the toy stuff sounds, and trust me, that's like that would be insane. I think it would be maybe seeing cosplayers, like, because then I know that the fan base has really resonated with my character. But the action figure thing would be amazing too.
Mhm.
Like for one project I'm doing with Chuck Pinu, like when I'm designing and creating these characters for these superheroes, I'm also kind of thinking of a toy line too. Like, how cool would it be if there was a 2-pack of these characters, or give this person a shield, because that would be an awesome accessory. So I think every creator, if they're not lying to themselves, wants action figures of their own characters. But yeah.
I think you're right. Shameless plug. Short Fuse does action figures.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Kickstarter when you guys do that.
Yeah, we're knocking some things out. We're gonna definitely get back into that. We are almost done with our stuff on our end.
Yeah.
As we've been back to work. Actually, we've been to work the whole time, but doing things to get things taken care of.
Yeah.
Oh man, I will say, Chris, I'm having a lot of fun drawing up this figure.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Now, which toy brand would you guys use? If not Short Fuse Media, like what would you want to see your characters like in a toy brand, like McFarlane Toys, or there's so many different brands. Which ones would you like to see for your characters?
Now, while I respect McFarlane, I don't think McFarlane needs to be making all the action figures. All right, there's just some action figures I don't think he should be making. But I respect Todd and I respect his hustle. Tony Clapper's in the building. What's up, Tony? How you doing? Keeman says, by the way, Chris, I'm also a comic artist and creator currently making the first issue of his own comic. Writing a new comic today. Justin's writing a new comic today. Good luck with that.
Awesome.
So I'm a big fan of Figma.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of NECA. But
I love that.
If I'm really getting my wish, yeah, Daniel said McFarlane Toys are one of those statues from Sideshow for me. And see, I don't like McFarlane's posable toys, and that's so funny because we've been bitching for years that McFarlane make his toys posable. I like more of his sculpted toys, but for like posable figures, I'm all about Figma and what's the other one? I'm drawing a blank. I'll probably remember. I know I'll remember later. But if I'm really thinking about it, I want Trevor Zammit. I used to go to college with him, and he is one of the heads at sculpting and working on toys at NECA. And he actually sculpted a few, like a castle for me. Hold on. If you can see that over there in the back, that is a castle that Trevor sculpted for me back in college. And we've talked about this toy line for a very, very long time. And I kind of don't care who does it as long as Trevor's in charge of the art direction and sculpting of the toys. So that's kind of like been my whole big thing with the whole toy line and whatnot.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I'd definitely buy some.
Yeah, man. Just to give you a little resume on Trevor, those '90s movie turtles.
Yeah.
He's the guy, not all the way behind it, but he sculpted a good portion of those turtles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I used to have like a bunch of them when I was younger. I love those turtles.
Not the old school not the cartoon ones. The ones that the ones that NECA just came out with based off of the movies, the first Ninja Turtle movies.
Oh, those are really cool too.
Yeah,
he's really good at his job.
Yeah, he's one of the sculptors.
Wow, that's impressive. Does anyone else have any questions? Because like I can only see like some of the comments, but I can't see all of them.
Yeah, Keeman says McFarlane really kills it with the Spawn toys. He does. I mean, it's his character. He knows how to draw. He knows how to make Spawn toys, and they pick some really good versions of Spawn to make for the action figures. Like for example, I'm a huge My Hero Academia fan. Where? I wish I had one of the boxes. I think the boxes are put up somewhere else. But I don't like how McFarlane makes the My Hero Academia toys. Number one, they're not to scale. And they while they can move and stuff, they're not as posable as some of these figures. Those are the figures I'm waiting to come out with. And I'm really disappointed. I can't remember my favorite toy line right now. I cannot remember their name. They're not Figmas, but they're just as good as Figma too.
Yeah.
I'll remember it here. Dig and get back into this mode here.
I love the way you draw muscles. Really cool.
Oh, thanks, man.
It reminded me of like those fighting games that people play where they always like overdo the muscles and it always looks so cool. So it kind of reminds me of like a video game style, muscles and whatnot.
That's funny you say that because I definitely get that from the like old school Street Fighter style, like back in Alpha and that type of stuff. Street Fighter Third Strike. I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah.
Okay, now we need to come over here. Where am I at? Trying to keep track of my layers here. Let me see. Anybody got any questions to ask Chris or I? Keep them coming. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm actually see if I can check the short fuse page. Nope. And I'm gonna leave it alone because my computer's moving slow and I don't want it to freeze up. So stop right there. All right, and then let me see what I got here. So now we're digging into this guy's other hand. Now the thing I love about this is that drawing that hand. Once I draw this hand, and I can put this on its own layer or whatnot. But if I feel like looking at it that it's too small or not big enough, I can just easily adjust that. That's something I am coming to discover with drawing on the iPad that I just really enjoy, and it saves me a lot of time with working on certain things.
Yeah, I should probably start drawing digital more. Yesterday, I spent like an hour or two drawing the same thing over and over again because I was trying to get it right, and I draw on paper. And then, I have a light box, so that's good. But doing stuff like that seems like it's comes in handy a lot.
Oh, Chris, I thought you had thought you were already drawing digital.
No, I just color in digital.
So what's that transition like for you, being an artist, doing it on paper and stuff like that, but then also being in this world of digital work? How do you decide what to do in digital and what not to do?
Um, Pretty much like to bring everything to the computer and color it because I love coloring, and at the same time I get a little bit too used to fixing things and uh, tweaking some things, and I can also like it's a way I learn too
Mm,
because with the digital I can export a picture of like what it looks like now, and I'll send it to a few of my artist friends, and they'll tell me what I can do better. So I really like going to digital, but I also like sketching on real paper.
all right. Morgan Iverson said, "What up, Chris?
Hey,
I
what's
see
up?
you, bro. What it do, Mike? If I could draw like this at all, I wouldn't allow people to address me by my first name." Keyman says, "I'm totally a huge fan of the Street Fighter series. It's my top favorite fighting game." Yeah, Street Fighter is my top fighting game as well. But I will have to say, Mortal Kombat 11 kind of whooped their ass this year.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I am not even a Mortal Kombat. Like I like Mortal Kombat, but my preference is definitely Street Fighter. But Mortal Kombat decimated all fighting games this year, with the exception of maybe Dragon Ball Z Fighter.
Yeah, especially when they brought in the add-ins, with Joker and Spawn and all of them.
Yeah,
Incredible.
and they took so long with Spawn. It's like, dude, come on. You know that's the one we want.
Yeah.
I didn't care about Joker. And what was cool about it, I didn't care about Joker. I care less about Joker. But the way that they did Joker was dope. They
Yeah,
reinvigorated that Joker in a fighting game. I was like, that's really cool. It took them like 3 times to get it right, but this Joker has definitely been the best version they put in the games.
I agree.
Daniel says, I'm neutral on fighting games, but I lean more towards Street Fighter's art style. What? Morgan? Mortal Kombat 10 is better than 11? Morgan, have you played that movie mode on Mortal Kombat? My wife sat next to me on the couch and watched that thing like it was a trilogy happening. But we're all entitled to our opinions. Mm, 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 mm. So who's your character? Who's your character on Street Fighter, Chris?
Let's see. On Street Fighter, I get like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter mixed up sometimes. So trying to make sure I remember who the characters are. Let's see. Who are some of the characters in Street Fighter again?
You got your classic. David says, great work. Thank you, man. You got your classic Ryu, Ken, Chun Li, Blanca, Sagat, E Honda, M Bison, Balrog, Vega, Sakura, which is my
Chun
favorite character.
Chun Li. Then
Chun Li.
yeah.
I love Chun Li, but she sucks to play with for me.
Yeah, to me, she's like the most interesting, and at least to me. Even though she's kind of annoying to play with, she's interesting.
Well, it's not that she's annoying to play with; she's just hard to play with. Like you've got to know the controls, you've got to know the button combinations. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, Chris, I'm a casual video gamer, so I really don't have the patience to sit there and try to learn. That's why that's why I'm not a big fan of Mortal Kombat because you really got to know what you're doing to play Mortal Kombat. And again, I don't have the time to learn it, and then I go online and some 6-year-old is whooping my ass with all the auto combos and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a really big gamer too, so the things I play are pretty much just Call of Duty.
Oh,
Sometimes
okay.
I'll play the fighting games, but mainly Call of Duty.
So, what do you think about that new Call of Duty battle? What is it, Warzone?
Oh yeah, I'm not into battle royales that much, but but it is interesting watching my brother play it. So, like,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, there's definitely like aspects of it that I do find really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was cool, and I went in there and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this a try. It's a free game, free to play. You know, you can pay for some extra content or whatever, but just play the game. And then you parachute in. As soon as I hit the ground, I got shot in the head, and I turned that shit off. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. Morgan says you can't beat having Jason and Leatherface as DLC. Morgan, I disagree when you have Terminator and Spawn as DLC. Alien. Oh snap, Chris Thomasa, I gotta get your gamer tag.
I'm not even sure I remember it off the top of my head.
All right, I want to draw. Let me see here.
It's looking so good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let me make sure I get this all. All right, got that. So for those that are just tuning in, Danny Cooper's in the building, editor-in-chief of Freestyle Comics. Keeman says, I'm a Ryu and Ken person at the most, but also like to play as Guile, Chun-Li, and Sagat. I like playing as Sagat until I get my ass kicked. Sean Mack says language in Captain America voice. Morgan says, wait, I didn't know Terminator was DLC or for 11. Yes, Terminator is DLC. Morgan says, I apologize now for my shameful statements. I need to do this on its own. Oh, it is on its own layer. Awesome. And this is another reason why I like drawing on the pad, because I can draw through the background to really mark off like where things go and where things should go.
Yeah.
Because now I got those pants laid in there the way that I need them to be laid in there. Daniel says he's terrible at both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, but he does like Ryu. And he just backed the Kickstarter, Chris.
Yes. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
All right. I think that's where we're at on that body right now. Now I'm about to start messing around with this background.
It looks really good.
Let me get my studio pen.
Yeah.
Max that out.
Thanks, Danny. I really appreciate it.
What up, Chris? Looking forward to getting a copy of this new book. Go, Danny, hit the pledge. All right, that's what's up.
Thanks, man. Oh, by the way, Danny, I read the last Ace Blade, and it was really good. I liked it.
Oh, Danny J. Quick pledge today. I could have sworn he pledged already shared. A shared first day, so DJ Quick is bottom feeding on this.
I can't thank everyone who backed enough. Like I'm really happy with how the turnout. I'm really happy with it.
Mm. Man, I think I'm gonna come back in on this with some whites. I'll turn around and try to hit the wrinkles again. But I'll treat the pen like the white pen like an ink pen. Come back across, try to get my highlights. But I want to make sure I get that. And that's kind of the thing. Like I want to make sure I get the stretched look in his pants. Like when you're like, kind of like in a movement, like he's like he's
Yeah,
revving up. I
I
try to
love
get
that
that
because it really
force.
brings a sense of action to it.
I want to keep that sense of action. I want to keep that sense of like
Uh,
urgency in it.
uh,
That makes sense.
you're really good at drawing them.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Uh,
Okay.
maybe one of these days I'll get you for an issue.
Man, it sounds like fun. Those characters
Yeah,
are really cool.
thanks, man. Maybe even a crossover or versus.
Uh, Man, Morgan Iverson. I just got off work. Leave me alone. I don't even care. I don't even care. Appreciate it, bro. I can't wait to get Morgan said he can't wait to get his book either. Dan Cooper
Awesome.
saying, "What up, Chris? Looking forward to getting his copy of the book." We got Cheryl in here watching now. These are my people in and out of here. Hope I'm not missing any comments on any other pages. We're streaming on the Short Fuse page and my personal page.
Awesome.
Oh, see that's the thing I gotta always remember is that I gotta make sure I close off these areas when inking. Makes it easier for the colors.
Uh,
Oh, the flatting process, because then I could just drop color in. So it's kind of what I'm looking for right now. Like close off everything, and then I do like that I can pull up here on the pad and stand that back and look at that a bit.
yeah, it looks really good.
So we're gonna
Look,
go ahead.
I was gonna say another thing I'm excited about for Base Wars Volume 1 is that this is like the start of my comic book universe. And while I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna go heavy into like what Marvel Studios does and make it all confusing with events and all that, like it's still gonna be really cool to world build and um, just show off some of the characters I've been wanting to for so long.
So how long have you been building up this world?
I'll say like a couple years now.
Okay.
And Clarity Girl will be included in Volume 1 too, for those who like her.
Hmm. Can we get it? I don't want that.
Thanks, Morgan. I really appreciate it. Hey, is there any way to invite the artist for Base Force on here?
Yeah, I can send him a link if he wants to jump in.
Yeah, I don't think he'd mind that. Let me see. Morgan, I just got inspiration from like all the cartoons I grew up with, like Stack Shock and Batman anime series, and also looking at real life and certain fashions people have with that. And what else? And there's some like characters I would love to see on the shelf. So those have been my inspirations for creating Base Force and characters like that.
Ouch. Morgan saying the character design is really dope. Danny Cooper says, for the record, I did back on March 7th. Just saying. Keeman says, I think I missed his last comment. I'll go up and check. Keeman says, got a jet, but nice work. Let me see, Keeman. Oh, Keeman says, love to stick around more, but there's work to be done. See you later, Watson and Chris. Great to meet you.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, man. You know, we're trying to do what we can. Looks like it sounds like you got about 4 Kickstarter donations since we've been up here.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Thanks, man, for bringing me on the show.
All right. I think the inks are done.
Yeah, they are. I am really happy.
All right, so this is one of my. I like always to do this. The process. Let people see the process.
Oh, that's really cool. You could do that with the iPad?
Yep.
I just sent the artist, artist for Base Force the link.
Okay.
So I'll see if he can join.
Now, this has been the process so far. So this has been 2 hours worth of work. All right. Richard Ruffin says, dope.
I agree.
Keeman took off. All right. So the other cool thing I like about this, I like keeping the sketch work on there. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to keep the sketch work on here and just, that'll be like these pieces that I do for chat and draw, just so we can see all that work.
Yeah.
All right, so now the cool thing here is I'm going to use this as, where is it? Reference. And so that hoodie, let's start with the browns. Start with the browns.
It'd be awesome. What are you going to
say? Danny J. Quick says 2 hours faints while driving.
I was gonna say, like, with these chat and draws, it'd be cool if you figure out a way to like have all these characters be together at the end, like, each one builds up to something. This idea.
Hey, I like how you think. So what I was talking about earlier about making sure that all the inks stay closed. As you can see, that's exactly why, because I could just drop color right in there.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Without having to fill it in. I really enjoy that aspect. If the ink's all closed off, it really makes for flattening to go by really quick. And then, of course, there are some pieces in here that I need to fill in with color or whatnot, but that's fine. Let's hit this green up. And I like the subtle hint of green. I like the subtle hint of the blue that you got in the helmet. Like it really works.
Thanks, man.
That color really pops.
Thank you.
When I'm coloring, if I can, I try to have each thing on its own layer.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
All right, so you see right there, see how that filled in? That was not closed off. I didn't want that whole thing to be filled in. So I just have a break there. So let me go back to my inks. And let me close that off. Now with that closed, and back to my color layer. And there you go. That's how it's supposed to work. There we go with that. And of course,
Thanks, Danny.
His gauntlets. His gauntlets may be a little different because I kind of went a little bit crazy with the gauntlets.
Hey, I like it.
I'm going to have to color those in manually. And so from what I saw, these are like force waves, would you say, Chris?
Yeah, force waves.
Okay. So for those that are trying to think, I want to see my battery. Should be good. Those of you tuning in, tomorrow, Friday, I will be doing my first 3-2-1 draw session. Well, I will be drawing some fantastic stuff or some fun stuff, really, with your kids tomorrow. My first session of that is Friday. It will be free. Then after that, I am registering and signing people up for class sessions during the week during this time of break. Tyrell's back. Danny, oh, you saw that. Morgan says, I swear to you guys, God knew what he was doing. If I could draw like this, I would demand to be referred to as Mr. Better Than You by default. Sean says, really coloring now? Show off, Watson. That wasn't the plan. LOL, joking. Looking good. See, Chris? I told you, Danny was about to start talking that crazy stuff. Can't wait to see Mike pencil and ink hot shot number 10. Won't dare replace Miss Veronica on colors. Danny Cooper is out here.
And Tyrell, like the sonic waves are more like bass frequencies. You know, with his name, Bass Force. In a way, somewhat like vibe in a way. That's like how his powers work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just figured it's the inaugural show. Let's go ahead and show them what we can do on this full episode here. It's an extra long edition. Go ahead, Chris.
The artist for Bass Force, he's actually in the whatever. Let's see, he's in the chat thing. Backstage area. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, we got RN in the building with us too. About to bring him into the stream. What's up, RN? With the helmet.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
What's up?
That's what you sound like. I never knew what you sounded like.
Do I sound weird?
No, you sound like how I imagine.
Oh, see, Chris, I messed up. I saw there's some like team stripes on the side of the jersey. Let me go back in there and get that.
When I'm drawing him too, I sometimes miss things like that. I tell you, Robert Nix is like the best at drawing it.
So Robert, artist and co-designer on the costumes here. Good ass work, man.
Oh, thank you very much.
Tyrell says, okay, that's hot. So what were you thinking when you were coming in together, bringing this character together and drawing it out? What was going on in your head? What's that process like for you?
For me or Chris?
For you.
Oh, well, I mean, his designs are very vibrant, like right off the bat, like very simple, but like very iconic. So, it was basically just making them work in my style, which wasn't very hard. I think our styles mesh very well.
Awesome. All right. So we've been at it here. We got 12 people on us right now watching. Ooh. We've been at it for the last. LaShawn comes in. Mike, really great job with this. Thank you, LaShawn. Nix is in the building, everybody. And so, Nix, I've kind of been seeing you all over my timeline, man. If it's not pages, it's character designs, and it made me slide into your DMs today to talk to you about potential character design. But so it looks like you're having a lot of success with your comic work. How are you finding that people are finding you to get this work done?
I guess it's just word of mouth. I get the indie comic community on Facebook is very close, so I guess they see me from other people liking it or commenting.
Okay. So, Rob, what would you say is your favorite character to draw in this book?
I really like drawing the villain in the first issue was based on Jaden Smith. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Will Smith's son? Yeah, he was fun to draw. I like drawing him get beat up.
I did not realize that. I mean, now that you say that, I can see totally how that's influenced by Jaden Smith.
It's just slightly based on him to avoid legal consequences.
Of course. You see all the good dirt you get on Chat and Draw. This is episode 1, man. We are cracking the door open in here. Oh, man. So on average, Robert, when you're doing your character designs, how much of it do you what's that process like for you? Do you look at a bunch of stuff first, or do you just go off of a blank slate? Do you like to reference things outside of what the person initially gives you?
Personally, for like my own characters, I reference like a crap load of stuff. But when I'm working with other people, it really depends on what they need, what they want. Sometimes they come to me with a lot of reference pictures, and then sometimes just tell me to do my own thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chris, does this base color work for the pants? Or should it be darker?
I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
Maybe a little bit darker.
A little bit darker?
Yeah. It looks good, by the way. I didn't know you were drawing that in real time.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it. It's a kind of the idea came from like trying to figure out what we wanted to do to help the indie community and be out there, what we could do to be somewhat different, but also that would promote us as short fuse and me as an artist, but help the community as well. And there's this show on Netflix, like Riding with Comedians in Cars, where they just drive in cars and talk. And I was like, hey, how about I just sit and draw a person's character and talk to them about that character? And that's where Chat and Draw popped in from.
Well, I think it's a really good idea.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. So I really like this feature on Procreate. So now that I got this, this is why I don't have an iPad Pro. I just have a regular iPad, so I can't have as many layers up. So what I like to do, if I can keep my colors separated by layers, it's very helpful because now I can just select this one layer because I'm on it, right? Yep, I'm active on that layer. I can hit automatic, and I can select just the color. So if I want to change that color, it won't be a problem at all, except for that. Except for that, when I got to stay off those lines. So let me get rid of these blacks here.
What program are you using?
I'm using Procreate right now.
Okay.
I got Clip Studio, which I'm still trying to get familiar with, but I have really taken to Procreate. And now, Robert, you're a digital artist as well. So what are you using?
I use mainly Clip to ink, and then I color on Photoshop.
Oh, you color on Photoshop?
Yeah.
And see, here we go right now. I talk all that junk and now it's not doing it the way it normally does. Let me see, go back here on that layer, bring you back. So we gotta do that the old fashioned way. It's fine. So, Robert, what are some of your influences? And Chris, I'll get that question from you first. Who are some of your influences or inspirations while you're writing? Like, is there a writer that you lean towards, or somebody that pops up in your head, and you're like, "Oh, I love how this person writes. How can I make that to my own way?"
Are you asking me or is it Rob's question?
I'm asking you first.
Okay. There's certain writers that I find have I always like writers that put a lot of emotion into their writing. So some of the writers I kind of like study in a way are Donnie Crates, and then I like Nick Spencer. And right now I'm really enjoying I forget his name. He's the writer of Bitterroot. Is his name Chuck Brown? Maybe that's it. And yeah, so there's certain writers that I'm either like studying now, or I read a lot of them when I was younger, and that's where I get my writing style from.
All right. Now, same question to you, Robert.
Oh, what was the question? Sorry.
What kind of artists are you inspired by? Who, like, when you're drawn, is there somebody that drives you? Like, oh, I love how this person draws. I wish I could draw like this, get it to that level.
I mean, growing up, it was mainly like Brian Hitch and Akira Toriyama. I know they're kind of like on opposite ends of the spectrum, but yeah, I consider them big influences. But yeah, when I'm drawing Base Force, I always call it Bass Force, by the way. I actually try and stay true to Chris's designs as best as I can. So he's actually a big influence when I'm drawing Base Force.
Oh, really? Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I use Robert Nix as an influence too.
Oh,
I must say.
Thanks, dude.
Like, for the process, I flat all his work, so then he can color it faster. So I get to see, really close what he does, and I pick up on what Robert Nix does, and he's been an influence for me, a lot while doing this.
That's what's up. That's kind of like the thing. Like when you get a creative team that you're pretty happy with, that you guys start to grow and influence each other. Like Gary Mitchell was my regular inker on Hot Shot, and him and I have just gotten to the point to where there's just some things I don't have to explain stuff to him, and like he picks up on it. He knows what to do. Like he can pick up right where I leave off. And I draw stuff when Gary's inking my stuff. I draw stuff knowing Gary's inking it, so I would draw things to his vein, his way. And he's really confident to pick me up.
Yeah, that's how I am when I'm definitely writing. Is I write things, I kind of know what to expect from Rob at this point, so I try not to like give him too much work in a page. So I kind of know how to write for him in a way.
Yeah, and then Veronica Smith, she reads our work, Gary and I's work perfectly. She can adapt to any pencil, she can adapt to any inks, and just bring those colors to life when working on that type of stuff. And then Danny, he's our editor on the books, and me and Danny, I probably spend as much time talking with Danny about edits and what makes the story really work as much as I spent writing the story. And I don't mind that at all. I love that stuff so much because I think when you get the right people on the book, it's gonna show. It's going to show in quality.
Yeah, what you're describing is like exactly how fun it is working on Base Force. Because like with LaShawn, there'll be times when we'll talk for like hours about how to address a certain character or how to, where we should go from here, and it's really fun. And I don't think I'd be lying if I said she's a fan of it too. I don't think that's too out of the range of believability, but yeah, she brings so much to the table, and it's really fun.
Oh, I absolutely believe that LaShawn's a fan. I absolutely believe. That one would not be making comic books if she wasn't a true, like the work that she puts in there in the time, like she's a true fan. I believe that true and through.
Yeah, I think that's going to show with when people read Volume 1, the Base Force, and the upcoming volumes. Is it's not just like it's not just money for her. She's a fan of it too.
Hmm. Yeah, respect on that.
Yeah.
My favorite. So the guy that I like, I got two that I look up to for writing. Victor Dandridge. He's ridiculous with writing. He breathes a certain life to characters that I am still trying to, get to. Ryan Otley, I absolutely love his storytelling. I love how he draws action. I love how he draws conversation panels. His designs, his layouts are stupid sick. And the last person, this is terrible. It shows you how horrible I am with his name. Robert Kirkman. Yeah. Um, I loved Invincible every single issue, in and out. There's not a lot of books that I can just read in like 10 minutes and be done with them and like looking for that next page. But it's like Robert would always have me like that on the issues of Invincible. And I liked how he had a main story going on and then he had a sub story going on. And like then all of a sudden you're talking about the conclusion of that sub story and you're like, well, where did that come from? And you're like, oh shit, he's been building this up for like 7 issues. And you didn't even realize it.
Yeah. That's something that I really like about Nick Spencer too, is he knows how to build up things. So, for instance, with the new Spider-Man series, there's one villain we don't know who he is, but he keeps teasing him, and it's been like 12 or 15 issues right now, and we still don't know who he is. But he says he's gonna like, drop the name of this villain, and that's something that the aspect of Volume 1 is there's going to be this question that I think fans are going to be asking for a lot of volumes, but this story is still going to be complete.
That's what's up. That stuff's fun, man, and I think some of that stuff's hard to do. As LaShawn says, facts, boo.
Thanks, LaShawn.
I think some of that stuff's hard to do as a writer, to show that type of patience and in character building and story arc building. I know I've had to sit back and look at some of my stuff and try to force myself to lean back, but that's where an editor comes in, and that's where you have people that you trust that you talk to. Like I have a nice little gauntlet of people that I talk to about my arcs in the story and how I can get the most out of them, but it's hard to do that type of stuff.
Yeah, it definitely can be.
So as this team that we have here of Chris and Rob, how much information do you give Rob when he's drawing the book? Like,
I try not to like over describe because I really want to see what Rob does with the page. I feel like if I just had like paragraphs of what I want him to do, then it might just kill the fun and the kind of vibe that Robert Nix brings to it. But I don't know if he likes that or not. I think he does, but yeah, I try to let him do as much as he can. Like he's the artist, I'm the writer, and I kind of look at that kind of viewpoint in the creative team. I trust the letterer, the artist, the editor.
So Rob, that puts it on you. How do you like to be fed your information, man? How do you like the story being told to you?
I mean, just enough to get their point across. I like them to have like the panels thought out and like numbered for each page,
Mm-hmm.
And then within the panels, I just like enough leeway to tell the story effectively, because a lot of the times when you're thumbnailing or drawing the page, things pop up that the writer didn't really think of.
Okay.
And so it's really just like bouncing back and forth ideas, and but I think Chris and me have found a good middle ground. So yeah.
So what's the longest book you've ever worked on, one in consecutive, Robert?
For me?
Yeah.
It was like a comic maybe like 10 years ago. Around 10 years ago. It didn't really go anywhere, but I did like 6 issues. I don't really talk about my art history or my art past.
All right.
Yeah.
I plan for there to be a lot more than 6 with you, buddy boy.
Sweet.
I wanted to go like at least 5 volumes, man.
Thanks, dude. Because of you, I can provide for my pets, so it's all good.
Yeah. I love Miji.
Oh, thanks. He says hi.
Hi, Miji. We gotta add him in the book sometime.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm sure some of you are sitting there kind of wondering what the hell's happening. Nothing's really moving on the picture. Right now, I'm just trying to select my my shadows right now on this thing. I'm using the selection tool, which is by far, I think, the best selection tool on any app. For the simple reason is you don't have to keep it connected. You can actually lift your pencil up, move the canvas around, and pick it back up without holding a plus symbol or anything like that. And if you worked in Photoshop before, you know how awesome that would be.
So are you doing the shading on a different layer?
Yeah. I got layer 7, and I dropped the opacity down to 28%. And so I'm keeping it kind of, I've got black selected or whatnot. Yes, I do.
Cool.
And I'm just going to hit that layer where I have it selected at, so the color still pops through.
Richard Ruffin asks, please distinguish between over-describing and being clear, especially communicating nuances in the story. Was that for me or for Rob?
I mean, we can both go, but you can go first since you're the writer.
Okay. For me, over-describing would be, things where, as a writer, as an artist, I know this, but it would be, being so clear that there's no room to divert from the page, as you will. So, like, if I wanted to show someone walking and I were to be over-describing, I would just tell you, like, every little thing about that panel. And I don't think that'd be much fun for Rob, but being clear and, communicating the nuances is, for me, it really comes through saying things in the script like, hey, Rob, this is what I'm going for. If you can do this, and, each panel is described, well enough for him to get what to do. But at the same time, at the end of it, I'll probably put a note like, this is what I'm going for.
Yeah, I feel you're pretty clear on what you want, like what needs to be, what's the word? Sorry, I had a brain fart. But like you're pretty clear on what needs to be done, and then everything else, I mean, it's you give me leeway over that. So, hey, it's Eric Magee.
Oh, hey, man.
Eric Magee, sounds like you guys know that person.
Yeah, he's a fellow artist.
Watts, you can fill the whole layer by dragging the color blob onto the layer. Thank you so much.
Oh, LaShawn, I have all that stuff planned out, so we'll talk soon. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I love how, like, for example, because I can only go off of my experience. I love how, like, I've seen and worked with LaShawn, how excited she gets about other people's projects. Sean Mack is a big fan of indie comic books. He follows them. He enjoys them. Danny Cooper, when me and him are talking about this book and like where we're going with our story, we get excited and jazzed up about it. And it's got to the point where Danny's actually writing. He's writing 2 of our books coming up. Like he's taking over the Basement of Doom, and he's taking over Heroes International. And if you thought that I was kicking Hot Shot's butt in Hot Shot's book, you ain't seen nothing when it comes to what Danny's about to do to Heroes International.
I love good suffering heroes.
Yes. Yes, and that's kind of like what I'm gonna have happen in the next story arc that I'm working on with Hotshot. Is he's gonna have to suffer. It's a new 4-part story or whatnot, but it's gonna suck for him, man. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, same for Base Force. Now that Volume 1's there, and you really get to see who he is and get to know him. It's really gonna be bad for him in Volume 2.
Hey, I remember drawing that dude. Hotshot.
Yeah, you did. You drew him for our Baltimore convention. We enlisted Robert to draw our what we have Ace Blade. We had Liberty. We had Hotshot.
Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks, and
Casey.
Casey. There we go. We had all of them, and he drew a charging image of all of them that we did that we showcased at Baltimore Comic Con.
I really like that image that Rob drew with all those characters.
Yeah, he killed it, man. I loved it.
Oh,
I wish I could buy it, like buy a print of it.
Well, we're probably gonna take it out the vault, Chris. So
Yeah. Thanks, LaShawn. Oh, Lonzo Starr. I forgot his name earlier in the live stream, but he's doing the theme song for Base Force that everyone will get if they're a backer of Base Force.
oh, that's great. That's really cool. So like, oh wait, LaShawn says also working with Chris and RN, it makes my job as editor so much easier because they actually listen and take my edit serious and make the changes needed. These guys are amazing and fun working with. That's great. That's really good when you guys have that relationship with your editor, and you like the editor's an editor for a reason, right? Like,
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, it's about putting out the best book that we can put out.
it is.
I think I just need to hit this spot just a little bit more. And
It's
then I'm
funny
gonna,
with one of the issues, LaShawn was like, no, that's not how she would say that, and then like help me rewrite it. So we do have a good, friendship going there.
that's great because man, you need that. Danny and I were hitting a kind of a brick wall with Vigilance, the next issue, and we wanted a female voice to write that next issue of Vigilance because we're doing some serious character growth in it, and we had a guy write the first 3 issues, which no qualms, no problems. The first 3 issues are really strong issues. This one, in issue 4, we're diving deeper into the actual character and where she's basically kind of starting over as an individual, and we want to track how that would go with her and where she's going to be at. And we wanted to have a female voice on that, and it added aspects to it that obviously like Danny and I did not think about or could think about because we're not females, and it just helped to have that sound there. It's always good to have like a point of reference to bounce off of and get the voices right for these characters.
Yeah, that's one thing I also love about LaShawn. She's really into like female empowerment and stuff. So she's really good at helping me really do a good job with the female characters. So they don't just seem like, some dude wrote it. It helps that she helps create these characters.
Right. That is always good. Where are we at here? All right, so I'm going to pull out my favorite tool so we can round this out. What we got here? Lonzo Star shouted you out there.
Thanks, man.
Ashton said, yo. Terrell, what OP? I don't know if that's a meme. He says, word. This joint is about to be fire when it's done. Thank you very much, Morgan. I got John Scooter in the building over here, too. What up? Michael Wynn is watching. John Scooter says, hey. And that's good-ish right there. Thank you very much, sir. This is what Chat and Draw is about. This is what we're gonna be doing with this Chat and Draw. We got our next couple guests lined up for the next few days, so I'm very excited to get them on here. I really wanted to get Chris on here because I know his Kickstarter's ending very soon. So let's try to get as much pledging, backing, sharing of that Kickstarter that we possibly can, and help these gentlemen and LaShawn and everybody here hit that goal that they're trying to hit. Because I know there's always that Kickstarter dollar amount, and then there's always that personal goal that you're trying to get.
Yeah. Yeah, today's the last day. I'm trying to get as many readers as I can.
Yeah, so Chris, please keep sharing that as much as you can. Share this out there as much as you can, so people can see us while we're on here and get to know your character. I missed this earlier, Chris. Somebody wanted you to do your best elevator pitch of Bass. You know, we've been getting people in and out here, so let's try to keep it fresh. Elevator pitch, Base Force now.
Okay. Legacy versus legacy. A man steps in his father's shoes as a superhero, and he's confronted with choices. I don't know if that's good. I've done so many recently. I'm blanking right now. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We've been at this for 2 hours now.
Well, you've been doing this for 2 hours?
Huh?
You've been at this for 2 hours already?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like when you got in is when it really got good. Yeah. But yeah, it's like legacy versus legacy. Man stepped into his father's shoes, you know, learning the superhero community, which I think that's going to be really fun in the upcoming issues, is seeing the superhero community and what it's like.
There you go. You got to get those blue highlights.
I've been waiting all 2 hours to do that.
Yeah.
What that means for I'm reading Morgan's comment right now. I'm intrigued off of that in the legacy versus legacy already, just to know what that means for your universe. Thank you, man. It's, you know, the more you read my comics, there's going to be more world building and the history of all these, you know, superheroes. So I think it's going to be really fun. I just want people to get attached to the characters first before the history and the universe of it all. Thanks, man. That's my favorite part of the pitch too. And Rob Nix does such a good job showing legacy versus legacy. That light part is so amazing, man.
Oh, thanks, man. That's the thing I found out about. Using Procreate. It's all about the brushes and tools you use.
Yeah.
Once you know which ones are good, man, you're in there. The force that comes off of the gloves, Chris, is this? Hold up, I got that one highlighted. Let me unhighlight that. The force that comes off the gloves, Chris, is that like is it like a red energy? Is it like a red color?
It's a green. It'd be better to ask Rob. He's better at drawing base force than me, I think.
Rob?
Yeah, it's kind of like a vibration, but I draw it like kind of like green sound waves coming off of it sometimes.
All right.
Oh, by the way, thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Richard. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Morgan. You're pretty cool too.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who backed. Sorry if I can't see all the comments.
Oh, thanks to you too, John.
I'm trying to balance them as much as I can. I got one page up on my phone and the other page up here. Okay, so we got. Okay, Tyrell said earlier you had more energy to it, and Morgan's agreeing with them. It has been 2 hours. All right, Richard just backed you, so that's why you guys are saying thanks. And then Tyler said, I knew that pose is going to be hot. Yeah, my sketches always have a lot of energy in them, and that's because I'm kind of like constantly trying to move the pencil and like find a pose that I'm really happy with that I want to work with. As you can see, I did like 3 different poses on this one. Oh, Moana McAdams in the building.
Thanks, Lonzo. And thanks,
Yeah,
John.
we still at it. Hey, man, you guys are getting some nice little traffic here today with everybody checking you out.
Yeah, this is so fun.
All right, so I'm going to try to play around with this.
It's fun talking to Rob, not just on Messenger.
Yeah.
Hold up 1 second.
Oh, thanks, Lonzo.
There we go. Take that off. Bring you back up. And now, because I'm feeling froggish, I'm going to merge you down. Merge you down.
Thanks for the advice, John. Brain's a little bit scrambled, so I probably would be coming up with a better one.
Oh, wait. I'm stupid. Y'all definitely said that was green.
I mean, it looks cool red too. So
Yeah, let's do red. We gotta figure out where to put red in the story, Rob.
yeah, it could be a new power.
It could be a new power.
Maybe we could do like a reverse base force. There's like red and he has yellow. I don't know.
Where is the...
Don't you hate it when you draw a bunch of stuff and then you find out it's on the wrong layer?
I know, that's what I just did.
Or like you have like a tiny selection, you can't see it, and then you think you're like coloring and shading, but it turns out like you haven't been doing anything at all.
Right. Nice idea too, Tyrell. Thanks, man.
One time I didn't realize I was drawing on the background layer, and so I had to go like and erase like every line that covered the background.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're building more of the base force in this chat here. Oh, that looks dope.
All right, everybody. Well, there we go. Base force on our first chat and draw. Look, you got everybody. What's up, LaShawn? You don't like the power blast? Destructo disc in his hands, y'all, is funny. Tyrell says different sound frequencies that have different attributes. Danny J. Quick is like, my man just gave Base Force a whole new power set. Morgan's out. All right, man, Morgan, you have a good day. The red might be diddly. Oh, they throwing in vertigo effect, Chris. They're giving you all types of ideas on this chat.
Yeah, this is cool, man.
Hey, what if he has a brown noise?
A brown noise.
Yeah, you've never seen that South Park episode?
No.
Oh. I'll just leave it at that. You guys can Google it if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I'm super curious. I'm going to Google it now. All right. Well, so that is the first drawing, the first official one for Chat and Draw. I will be emailing this to Chris. Chris can do whatever he wants, turn this into a print or whatnot if he wants to. Be sure to check out Chris's Kickstarter. That is currently happening today. Today is the last day for that. So, again, we perfectly understand and get it. If you cannot donate any money, I'm about to take myself over there, though, and back it. But
Thank you.
a share is just as valuable as a donation. It really
It
is.
is.
We want to get to your network, your community of people, as much as we want to get to you. So there may be somebody in your circle that enjoys comic books, that this comic book may be the one for them. And I think this book is going to touch on a lot of people. LaShawn is saying she's not with the red. And we're going to do this special for the editor. So we took that red off. We'll have both versions. But again, please support Chris over here with this Kickstarter. I want to say thank you to Chris for being on our show for the first time, our first episode. Chris, is there anything you want to tell everybody one last time before we close up shop?
I don't think so. I just, if you backed, I really appreciate it. I think you're going to love Volume 1. And if you have any questions about like the Kickstarter or the book or anything, you can leave them quickly here because I guess we're going to end soon. Or you can message me or comment, whatever. Robbie, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Mike for having us on.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks
No
to
problem.
Chris for having me as his artist, and thanks to everybody in the chat, and thanks to everybody who supports the book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Big thanks to everyone, really.
Awesome. I am very excited. I think this was a great first episode. I want to say thank you to Chris and Rob for being part of the show. Their editor, LaShawn, chiming in here and showing massive support for the entire episode and editing my artwork for me live on Chat and Draw. I think that is extra special. Everyone that tuned in today, shared, thank you so much. We're going to do it again. We got a fresh new Chat and Draw next Tuesday. I will be joined by Danny J. Quick for Ace Blade. We're going to get our Ace Blade on. And this was fun. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This has been fun. Look forward to the next, to Ace Blade.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.